Hi guys, we're talking about using sound today, page 60 in your book. All right, here we go. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of reading, hand your homework out. There's only like 5 questions. Excuse me, I think there's only 5 questions today. Pretty simple. Again, your quiz on Wednesday will be open book. After that, we're going to reevaluate and probably make it a little tougher. Make sure you're paying attention and learning something perhaps. Okay? All right, starts off here in our reading. It talks about how a dog trainer stands quietly. He's watching the dog a short distance away. In order to get the dog's attention, he pulls out this small whistle and he blows into it. You don't hear anything, but the dog stops, kind of cocks his ear up a little bit, and he comes to the trainer. Okay? This is out. Okay? You don't hear it, but a dog can hear ultrasound frequency up to 45,000 hertz. That is a whole lot more than what we can pick up. So that dog can hear that whistle, but the frequency is too high for us to pick up.
So what you're saying is it's just a really quiet sound to us?
We don't hear it. We can't hear it, period. We can't hear it at all.
Hey, Mr. Sadler,
Okay. Yes.
is it okay like that you start like trying to take notes, like listening
Absolutely.
without the book?
Sure. You can try it. Worst thing that happens is you have to pull your book out in order to do your homework. All right. Now, so 45,000 hertz is well above the upper limit for humans, okay? Other animals, cats, mice, they can hear it up that high frequency also. If you have a dog, my wife will tell me my dogs, they know when I am coming down the road in my truck long before they ever see me. Because they not only can hear me coming, apparently they can distinguish a sound. My truck apparently makes a sound that they have learned to distinguish is my truck. And they will be at the window waiting for me when I pull up. She knows I'm coming home before I ever get there. Okay? So there's no sneaking up. Some types of animals not only hear ultrasound, but also produces ultrasound waves. Okay? They use ultrasound waves to see in the dark. Okay, anybody know of one that does that? Maybe an animal? What do you think?
Dolphins.
A dolphin does it. A dolphin can do it.
Killer whales. A bat.
A bat. I was thinking more bat. Yeah. Owl, not so much. No, they don't use ultrasound. They actually see.
Do you sharks?
Sharks uses echolocation for food. All right. Image. Okay. Echolocation is image trying to imagine trying to walk around in a total dark room, and we're talking pitch dark, no light. Your eye cannot absorb any light whatsoever, so you can't see anything. Okay. If we put you in there and it was a room that you didn't know where the furniture was located and stuff like that, you're going to walk into stuff, right? Because you can't see. So unlike you, a bat finds it easy to move around in dark places. This is because they use echolocation. Okay? This is the use of reflected sound waves to determine a distance or locate objects. Okay? Some animals, including bats and dolphins, uses echolocation to navigate and to find food. Okay? They talk about dolphins. They have trained dolphins. They use theirs that they can throw a very small object into a large pool of water, and that thing can use echolocation to find it and go retrieve it and bring it back to them.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Bats uses ultrasound waves with frequency up to 100,000 hertz. Okay, remember dogs can hear up to 45,000. We can't even hear that. These guys uses 100,000 hertz to move around and hunt. As a bat flies, it sends out short pulses of ultrasound waves, as many as 200 pulses per second.
That's a lot. That's more than the internet.
200 per second. Okay? The waves reflect off of objects and return to the bat's ears. The time it takes for a sound wave to return tells the bat how far away the object is and whether or not it needs to turn left or right or whatever, okay? So, and think about it, it makes sense. If you threw a ball up against the wall, if I threw it from here, it's going to take longer to come back to me than it would if I threw it from where Juliet is sitting. Okay? So it only makes sense, right? It's going to hit the wall and come back a whole lot quicker. Yes, Spirit?
So echolocation is using reflective sound ultrasound waves?
Pretty basic. Okay?
Oh,
Dolphins, porpoises, and whales, some whales, must often hunt in darkness. Like bats, these animals use echolocation. For example, dolphins sends out ultrasound waves with frequency up to 150,000 hertz. Okay? The sound waves travels through the water, bounces off the fish or other prey, and dolphins sense the reflection sound waves through their jawbone, and they use echolocation to hunt at night or in murky or deep water. Now, they actually can send out, if a fish is close enough to them, it will actually stun the fish at 150,000 hertz. It will actually stun a fish so that it's kind of flopped up. When they get to it, it makes it easier to eat. Okay? Yes?
So dolphins, porpoises, bats, and some whales use the ultrasound to hunt and navigate in dark areas.
Yep. That's it. Okay? And just so y'all understand, he's trying to take notes without the use of the book, and everything he has asked me so far is exactly what you need to be putting down. That's very good. Good job. Okay?
Good job.
People cannot send out, now we cannot send out pulses of ultrasound to help us move around in the dark. But people sometimes need to explore places they cannot reach easily, such as the deep underwater or inside a human body. Okay? Ultrasound technologies such as sonar and ultrasound imaging are used to observe things that cannot be easily seen directly. Okay? Back in the old days, they actually took chains. Now, obviously, they're not out in the deepest part of the ocean, but they would use chains to determine how deep the water was. And they had these really long chains, and they would drop them, and when they hit the bottom, they pulled them back up, and they measured the chain, and that they knew how deep it was in that area. Okay? That was a lot of work. Now we have sonar, okay? A system that uses reflected sound waves to determine and locate objects underwater is called sonar. Okay? The word sonar actually comes from the initial letters of sound, navigation, and ranging, and they kind of put them all together there. Navigation means finding your way around on the ocean or in the air, and ranging means finding the distance between the objects. Today, sonar is used to determine the depth of water, to map the ocean floor, to locate sunken ships, schools of fish, and other objects. If you've ever been deep sea fishing, the captain will try to pretend that he's standing up there and he can smell that big school of fish, so he takes you to it. The truth of the matter is, yeah, he's got sonar. He's got all the modern equipment on that boat to help him out, trust me. But it makes for a great story if he can pretend that he smells them out, A sonar device sends a burst of ultrasound waves that travels through the water. When the sound wave strikes an object on the ocean floor, then it comes back. And depending, again, how long it takes it to go down and come back is how they can determine how deep it is. Now, yes, sir.
Don't they do like sonars and stuff like that for like to see if you're pregnant or something?
We're going to get to that. It's not sonar.
Ultrasound.
It's
Yeah,
ultrasound.
ultrasound.
Yes.
So, ultrasound, like we can use ultrasound, like isn't that what it's called? That like the doctor like finds like looks for the baby.
Yeah, we're going to get there.
Okay.
You're just slow down.
You said like.
Don't try to take notes on something we haven't talked about yet. Okay. All right. The further a sound wave travels before bouncing off an object, the longer it takes to return to the sonar device. So a computer in the sonar device measures the time it takes for the sound waves to go out and return. Then it multiplies this time by the speed of sound in the water, and the result is a total distance of sound wave traveled, okay? But then they have to divide it by 2. Why do you think they divide it by 2?
Because they need to.
Because
What do you think, Mark?
the sound waves have to travel out and back.
You what?
Does that have to like travel out?
Yeah, because it travels out and travels back. So if it came back and said, oh, it went 1,000 feet, then that means it's only 500 feet deep because it went 500 feet down and 500 feet back. So it was only a 500 feet. Very good. Okay. Ultra imaging, this is what some of you talked about just a second ago. Doctors actually can use ultrasound imaging to look inside the human body. Okay? Ultrasound imaging devices send ultrasound waves into the body and detects and reflects sound waves. Okay? They can do this to help determine if you have liver problems, if your heart, they will take ultrasounds of the heart. They can determine whether or not you have clogged arteries, if you have a leaky valve. They can pick up a lot of stuff by using just sound waves. It's really pretty cool. Different parts of the body, such as bones, muscle, the liver, and the heart, reflects sound differently. Okay? So the device uses the reflective ultrasound waves to create a picture called a sonogram. Okay? And a doctor can use a sonogram to diagnose and treat many medical conditions. Okay? And I feel confident all of you, your mother probably had an ultrasound imaging done when she was expecting you. Okay? And they can do that to make sure that the babies are developing. Because you can go on, and what they do is they can detect the heartbeat earlier than what they used to be able to. They can check to make sure that everything, that the lungs are developing, the heart's developing, 10 fingers, 10 toes. Is the brain developing the way it's supposed to? I mean, they can really keep an eye on it. And of course, sometimes if positioning is correct, they can determine whether or not it's a little boy or a little girl. Okay? So there's a lot of things, and some people don't want to know. Some people like to be surprised like they was when I came along. It was all a surprise. Okay?
Wait.
Because I was supposed to have been Patricia
Oh no.
something. I don't know, Patricia Ann or something like that. Now how they got Dennis Michael from Patricia Ann, I have no idea. But they did.
Dad got to choose
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
My cousin was supposed to be a boy, a girl, and he
And he's not.
well, he's not, but they bought all the clothes
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, sometimes it's wrong. Okay, sometimes it's
Like
wrong.
they buy all the little girl clothes. You could get some money
All
out
right.
of that.
All right, the probe sends out a very high frequency ultrasound of about 4 million hertz. Okay? And by analyzing the reflected sound waves, the device builds up a sonogram, and the sonogram can show the position of the baby. Sonograms can also show if more than one baby will be born, because, if you're expecting twins, it's kind of nice to know before they get here. Again, like the old days, it was all a surprise. In addition to a still picture, ultrasound imaging can produce a video of the developing baby. So it is, and the beauty of it is they've actually have been able to go in where they would detect sometimes a heart condition on a baby when it was still in the womb, and they knew it and was able to immediately be ready to fix that up on birth instead of detecting it later where it might, So a lot of great things can come from this. It really can. Back in my time, my grandmother and probably every other old woman in the world at that point in time, seriously, I bet they were right 98% of the time. They could look at a woman that was expecting a baby and could tell if it was a boy or a girl
Really?
by how, they could tell by the way, they talk about the way she carried the baby. Apparently you carry high, low, or whatever,
Oh.
but old women could tell. And I never knew my grandmother to be wrong. I'm sure she was some. But she was telling them I was going to be a boy when everyone else was telling them I was going to be a girl.
Yeah.
And that's why my mother picked out a girl's name.
And then your grandma was right.
But my grandmother was correct. Okay. All right. Wasn't that entertaining? And we will talk to you later.
Wait.